Welcome, dear students. I am Dr. V. Geeta, Assistant Professor of Chemistry, MVSR Engineering College. Today I am going to discuss about chemical fuels, third part. The contents in this topic included are refining of crude petroleum, fractional distillation of crude oil, cracking and its significance, cracking and its types, and catalytic cracking by moving bed method. Liquid fuels, generally petroleum or crude oil, is a naturally occurring flammable liquid consisting of a complex mixture of hydrocarbons with small quantities of organic compounds containing oxygen, nitrogen, and sulfur. It is a fossil fuel and they are formed when large quantities of dead organisms, usually plants and zooplanktons, are buried underneath the sedimentary rock and they undergo destructive distillation and they are converted to a thick fluid which is called as petroleum. The petroleum is collected mostly through oil drilling. The composition of petroleum are as follows: carbon 80 to 87%, hydrogen 11.1 to 15%, sulfur 0.1 to 3.5%, oxygen 0.1 to 0.9%, and nitrogen 0.4 to 0.9%. Refining of crude petroleum. The crude oil is separated into different fractions having different boiling points by a process known as fractional distillation, and fractions are finally converted into desired products by removing objectionable impurities. And this process is called refining of crude petroleum or petroleum. The plants set up for this purpose are called oil refineries. The refining of crude petroleum is carried out in three stages. The first is removal of water, the second is removal of sulfur compounds, and the third is fractional distillation. The step 1, that is removal of water, is done by Cottrell's process, where the crude oil emulsion is passed through highly charged electrodes, where the colloidal water droplets coalesce, combine together, and separate out from crude oil. The second stage is removal of sulfur compounds, and here the crude oil is freed from water by passing it over copper oxide, where the sulfur present in the crude oil gets precipitated as copper sulfide, which is separated by filtration. The chemical reaction occurring is copper oxide reacting with sulfur to form copper sulfide, which is precipitated out. The third stage is fractional distillation. In this stage, the crude oil is heated to around 400 degrees Celsius in an iron retort, which produces hot vapors, which are allowed to pass through a fractionating column. Fractionating column is a tall cylindrical tower containing a number of horizontal stainless trays at short distances and is provided with small chimney covered with loose cap. As the vapors go up, the vapors get cooled gradually and fractional condensation takes place. Higher boiling fractions condense first and lower boiling fractions in turns. Here you can see a diagram showing the process of fractional distillation. The instrumentation or the parts are as follows. This is the retort, which is maintained at 400 degrees Celsius temperature. Crude oil is passed through the pipe stills into the fractionating column. This long tower is fractionating column, which is fixed with horizontal steel plates which is having openings covered by loose caps. The process is the crude oil is passed into the pipe still, which enters the retort, which is maintained at 400 degrees Celsius temperature. All the volatile components get evaporated in the form of hot vapors and the non-volatile substance settle down at the bottom of the retort. The hot vapors are then passed through this fractionating column, and as the vapors go up in this fractionating column, the temperature gradually decreases from 400 to lower temperatures. At the bottommost part of this fractionating column, the fraction which is settled will be at a range of a very high temperatures, that is nearly around 350 degrees Celsius, and this particular fraction is called as heavy oil. The remaining vapors go up, and as they continue to cool down at different levels, different fractions are condensed. After the heavy oil, the next fraction that is condensing is lubricating oil, then diesel oil, kerosene, naphtha, gasoline, petroleum ether. And finally, from the topmost part of this fractionating column, the gases which are not condensed escape, which is also known as liquid petroleum gas. Out of the fractions which are deposited or which are collected at different temperatures, the important fractions are gasoline, kerosene and diesel oil. But heavy oil, which is a mixture of again many higher hydrocarbons, is important, but here to get the different types of important products here, it has to be again subjected to fractional distillation. The important fractions of petroleum, gasoline, kerosene or diesel are tabulated here. Gasoline is collected between temperature 40 to 120 degrees Celsius. Kerosene is collected between 180 to 250 degrees Celsius, and diesel is collected between 250 to 320 degrees Celsius. And as we can see here, as the boiling point at which or the boiling points or the temperature at which collected are more, the number of carbon in the hydrocarbon which is constituting that particular part is increasing gradually. Gasoline, the number of carbon in hydrocarbon C5 to C8, kerosene C10 to C15 and diesel C15 to C18. The calorific values are for gasoline 11,250 kilocalories per kg, kerosene 11,100 kilocalories per kg and diesel 11,000 kilocalories per kg. And density also is gradually increasing, 0.71 to 0.77 for gasoline, kerosene 0.75 to 0.85 and diesel 0.86 to 0.95. Gasoline is mostly used as the fuel for internal combustion engines, and it is also used as a solvent in dry cleaning. Coming to kerosene, it is used as a fuel for domestic purposes, as a fuel for jet engine and for preparing lab gases. Diesel is used as a fuel in diesel engines. The next topic now we are going to discuss is about the cracking and its importance. Cracking is defined as the decomposition of higher boiling fractions of hydrocarbon having high molecular weight into low boiling fractions of hydrocarbons having low molecular weight. The example is shown here. Decane, which is higher hydrocarbon with 10 carbon atoms, when it is cracked, it is breaking up into two smaller hydrocarbons containing 5 carbon each, and when this process is carried out, there is a drastic decrease in the boiling point from higher hydrocarbon to the lower hydrocarbon. The gasoline has the highest demand as a motor fuel, but the yield of this fraction is very low, that is only 20% of the crude oil. And the quality of the gasoline that is obtained from the fractional distillation is also not so good. Hence, it is used only after suitable blending. Moreover, there is a surplus of heavier petroleum fraction that is obtained in the fractional distillation, and therefore middle and heavier fractions which are more abundant are subjected to cracking to more valuable low boiling fraction, that is gasoline, and that is why the cracking is carried out for heavier hydrocarbon to obtain more important gasoline fraction. Now we'll discuss the types of cracking. Types of cracking is classified into two types based on the method by which they are carried out. The first type is called thermal cracking. Thermal cracking is nothing but when the process of cracking is carried out at higher temperature and pressure, then it is also known as thermal decomposition or thermal cracking. Okay, pyrolysis is also a name given to this particular cracking. This is of two types, liquid phase thermal cracking and vapor phase thermal cracking. Coming to the second type of cracking, if the cracking or decomposition is carried out in the presence of a catalyst, then we call this as catalytic cracking. This is again carried out by two different methods. The first one is fixed bed catalytic cracking and the second method is called moving bed catalytic cracking. Coming to catalytic cracking, Because a catalyst is required here, the gasoline is generally produced which is of improved quality, and this is obtained by cracking the heavy oil in the presence of a catalyst like aluminum silicate or alumina. And this process is carried out at relatively lower temperatures and pressures compared to thermal cracking. Now here we have the procedure or methodology for moving bed catalytic cracking. In this whole process, first the feed oil, mostly heavy oil or middle oil, is taken into a preheater where it is subjected to a small heat, and then this preheated oil is carried through this pipe to the reactor, which is maintained at 500 degrees Celsius temperature. And on its way, the vapors on its way to this reactor, they are mixed with the catalyst which is coming from catalyst regenerator. Now here the catalyst thoroughly mixes with the oil particles, and the mixture of the two are going to the reactors, and here they undergo the process of cracking at the temperature maintained, that is 500 degrees Celsius. At this temperature the cracking occurs, and the vapors of the cracked oil that is obtained escape through the top pipe here to the fractionating column, and in this fractionating column the fractional distillation of the cracked vapors occur, and these vapors are again separated. The heavy oil which is uncracked will be settled down at the bottom, which is collected, and the light oil fraction will escape from the top of this fractionating column, where it is sent to the coolers. In the cooler the uncondensed gases separate and the gasoline is collected at the bottom, which is then taken to the stabilizers, where again some gases are separated and pure gasoline is obtained. The important feature of this moving bed catalytic cracking is, here the reaction is occurring in the reactor, and during the process of this reaction the catalyst is already not present here. It is mixed on the way of this oil to the reactor in the middle of this particular pipe, and since here the catalyst is not in the fixed position, it is mixed in the middle of this particular pipe to the oil here. We call this process as moving bed catalytic cracking. The second important feature is, after the process of cracking, the catalyst which remains unreacted, they will be coated with heavy oil particles, and because of the heaviness of the particles settle down at the bottom of this container, and from here with the help of the air blower they are taken to the catalyst regenerator, which is maintained at 600 degrees Celsius. At this temperature the oxygen that is reacting will with hydrocarbon will oxidize the heavy oil which is coated on the catalyst and convert it to different oxides which escape as the flue gases, and the catalyst particles are regenerated, and these regenerated particles are again mixed with the heavy oil vapors at the bottom of the pipe, and in this way the catalyst is not wasted in this whole process, it is regenerated, and although also the catalyst is not present in the reactor, it is mixed during the transfer of the oil vapors from the preheater to the reactors. And here I have given a small explanation of this whole process, you can go through it. The main features here are the temperature of the reactor, then how the heavy oil is separated, then how the catalyst is regenerated in the catalyst regenerator. Thank you so much. The remaining part of the lecture of this unit chemical fuel will be discussed in part 4.